Well, Jasmine Crockett's going to finally be out of Congress.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jasmine Crockett was officially kicked out of politics forever.
After losing this primary, she went public and blamed everything and everyone. Take your pick, everything from racism to voter suppression.
The reason that we knew that there were problems is because we were receiving the phone calls and the emails. If it comes in and I'm losing Dallas County, then we know kind of where this thing is going.
To shutting down the polls at a time that they shouldn't have been shut down.
The polls were supposed to stay open until 9, according to a court order. The Supreme Court, just a few minutes ago, just said, shut it down. The Supreme Court also said that they are to separate any votes out that came in after 7 p.m.
All these ridiculous excuses. Here comes the manipulation with victim mentality.
But I can tell you now that people have been disenfranchised.
People are being disenfranchised. This is not true in the least. Let me be clear about something. Just because she comes from, let's just say, a group of people that make up about 13% of the population, she's playing the card that apparently none of them can figure out how to get anywhere on time. So if the polls close at 7, they need an extra couple hours because apparently they can't figure out how to get there by 7. This is a problem because I work professionally with many people from this specific group, and none of them have a hard time being anywhere on time, and they're never confused about what time it is. I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, but her little remark about that's what Republicans do.
Unfortunately, this is what Republicans like to do.
In the world of psychology, this is called a fundamental attribution error. This is where you overemphasize something that you believe is either a personality trait or a way of doing things, and you say things like, they always do this, or this person or this group always acts like this. It's a generalization and it's an attribution error. But when the person projects like this, they're trying to illustrate that the other group has a character flaw. And how about the part where she says they were targeting specifically Dallas County, and you know why?
And so they specifically targeted Dallas County, and I think we all know why.
It's known to be a significant hub for black upper class and middle class people in the north part of Texas. And this is also a way to express to people that there shouldn't be any trust in the system, especially when there is a conspiracy of other people that are not like you that are working against you. This idealized voter suppression part, it's wrapped in all kinds of mumbo jumbo and word salad, none of which provide any actual factual details. I think the problem here that she might be missing is that she's not likable. She has the same problem that Kamala had earlier, where she uses different accents based on where she's at. She can go from ghetto girl.
Maybe because these people, they are crazy because they always talk about how Christian they is. Yeah, I don't know how many of them on that side.
Lord child, they're talking about how Christian there is. Oh my God, Kamala and Hillary would be proud of that.
To trying to be like a court clerk or somebody who's very proper and uses very clean English.
No one could have told me that when I went down to Austin, now it looks like a little bit over a year ago, that I would be running for Congress.
And people see this as disingenuous. In addition to this, she always seems to be playing the victim mentality manipulation card. So when she casts herself as the victim of all these oppressors, then she grabs her supporters' sympathy and their empathy. And this drives heavy emotional support from people that want to believe her. The problem here is that they're not understanding this is created to distract from personal flaws in her own situation. And then next, she uses another bias in psychology called appeal to emotion. So instead of using facts like the Supreme Court made a ruling because everybody knows that the polls close at 7 p.m. The Supreme Court made a judgment and she's upset about that. So instead of sticking to the facts that that's the way it is everywhere, to get people on her own team riled up or sympathetic. And why? so that they ignore the details of the rules of the election. And she's also touching on something that you rarely hear articulated, but it's called the availability heuristic. And what this does is it puts her case and her situation in a box along with other situations in other places. And what they're doing is they're saying, you know what, there's been problems in other places like this: oppression, racism, bigotry, whatever you want to fill in the blanks with. And because it's happened other places, it's also happening here. So if there's a loss, she's telling them, if there's a loss, be prepared. Something fishy is going on.
If it comes in and I'm losing Dallas County, then we know kind of where this thing is going.
All this means is that if there's a loss, the availability heuristic says if it happened in other places, that's why it's happening here. From a conservative perspective, because that's what I am, I don't appreciate her trying to use psychological tricks. Because all these things, all these biases I just went over with you are to create in other people doubt and avoidance of taking any responsibility, which means if it's someone else's fault, it can't be her fault. This completely ignores all logic, evidence, and rules of elections. And again, as a conservative, we believe in sticking to personal responsibility. We try to base arguments on evidence, not on feelings. And we uphold and believe in things like protecting integrity. So my question for you is this: why do you think she got landslided in this particular runoff? Why do you think that she had no possible chance in this? Is she just unlikable? Or is she just some sort of victim that has been overcome by racism again? Put your answers in the comment section.